to the Will and Walker podcast, episode number 4. I am Will, and with me is
Walker,
and we are coming to you from
cloudy Beardstown, Illinois.
Today is not sunny. First time it's not been sunny. We'd like to thank you for tuning in this week. We got a lot to cover. Actually, we have some notes this week, so maybe I can get Mary Ellen to take our picture here in a minute while we're recording this. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up first was we have a new Facebook group. There's a page on Facebook called Will and Walker Podcast Listeners. We would like to invite you to join that group. It'll be a place for feedback, discussion, show ideas. Also like to just be able to interact with some of our listeners a little bit easier. You'll also be able to find all of our episodes. There will be a link there. Again, you can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes. There's a couple others, but this will just make it easier for some of our listeners to be able to find us and find our episodes. So wanted to put that out there, encourage you to check it out if you are a Facebook user. I know a lot of younger people aren't.
Yeah.
Which is going to kind of lead us into our discussion. I wanted to talk about social media this week. So, Walker, describe to our listeners what social media platforms are basically your go-to platforms.
My go-to is mainly Instagram. I use Snapchat sometimes, but not as much, just because I'm not a huge fan of Snapchat, and I've basically been using Instagram for a long time, so yeah.
So what's appealing about Instagram?
I'm not sure. It just feels very simple, and I don't know. Do you want me to talk about why I don't use Facebook a lot?
No, we're talking about what you do use first and why.
Well, for Instagram, I just use it because it feels easy to use and stuff like that. I don't know what else about Instagram.
So what do you use it to send messages? Do you post pictures? Or do you just use it for memes?
Pretty much all of the above of what you said.
So some of our listeners aren't quite sure what a meme is, so you want to
a meme.
Try to describe a meme without looking at one.
The memes have evolved. So in the beginning, basically, memes. Well, basically the standard meme is a funny picture or something, and then the caption will have like these white letters with a black outline, and it's just like, haha, I poo my pants, haha, funny, and it's stuff like that. But and that's kind of like the old memes. Nowadays, memes have become video memes. There's like video memes. It's just become very chaotic, but in a good way.
I see. It's pretty entertaining. A picture can give you a laugh, and it can be entertaining. Mm-hmm. I kind of find that cool, interesting, and cool. And there's definitely some inappropriate ones out there. So we don't want to lead our listeners astray. But there are some funny memes. There's some clever memes. It's basically like a picture with words, and it's all just a big joke. And it could be a pun, or it could be just anything to make it. So it's kind of funny. Okay, so a little Snapchat, but not much.
Yeah.
And Instagram.
I also use Twitter, but Twitter is for my SoundCloud rapper career.
I'm not aware of this. What is you're a rapper?
It's basically a joke. So what I use Twitter for, Twitter in my opinion, is just for big popular people and games where you just follow people on Twitter just to know what's going on. I don't really use it.
I remember back when Twitter first came out, and basically they would just tweet. They're called tweets, and it was, I'm going to the store.
I'm going to the store.
And then a few minutes later, I picked up some bread and milk. I'm heading back home.
I wish that's how it was again.
But now I know a lot of people that use it for news. So all the media outlets, celebrities, sports figures, famous and not so famous, are all using it just to kind of connect with their fan base, I guess.
Yeah.
Me, I don't like to. I'd rather look at pictures. So that's kind of the reason why I choose the Facebook platform, or Facebook social media platforms that I use. You had mentioned something before we started recording the episode about streaming.
Yes, streaming. I stream on YouTube and Twitch. That's what I do.
So those could be social media, because you post a video or you stream and people are able to interact. So it's a social. It's an opportunity where you can interact with people. So that's the social part, and it's media because it's video or video game. So, what kind of stuff do you stream?
I play games. I mainly stream on YouTube. I play mainly single player games and story based games, and then on Twitch I do lots of multiplayer games.
Okay. Now that's a big difference between your generation and mine. When I was your age, I couldn't stand to sit there and watch someone else play. I just couldn't. I wanted the controller because I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And back then you could only play, it was 2 players at most. Actually, I think Duck Hunt you could play 4 players, but you always had to wait your turn, which was agonizing. And you had to sit there, and if someone was good, like your Nana, who was good at Pac-Man, would sit there in front of the television for hours getting blisters on her thumb from the joystick, and she would play Pac-Man hour after hour after hour, and we would never get to play. It was so frustrating.
That's really funny to look at or talk about stuff like that, and then think about nowadays how some people stream on the internet like 9 hours of gameplay.
I couldn't watch that. I can watch. I used to follow some people on Facebook, or no, I keep saying Facebook. I like Facebook. Sorry. YouTube. So used to follow some people on YouTube and watch them play MLB The Show, because I played it a lot and I enjoyed it back when there was baseball. And since there hasn't been any baseball this year, I haven't been really interested. So I've not watched those guys play. But they put money into the game, and they spend money, and it's not for me. So you're an Instagram user, and a lot of your friends are on Instagram as well, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get this information because I'm going to go stalk everybody, or I'm going to go check up on you. But so why is Instagram so popular with your friends, do you think?
I'm really not sure. I was actually thinking about this, actually. I do think I know, but I might have forgot it.
Okay.
What I was thinking is that when I grew up and when I just started using a social media, the first one that I used was Instagram, and I kind of stuck with that because I think almost everyone goes to Instagram my age because everyone else around them has Instagram, and sometimes you'll be making a new friend or something, and they'll be like, hey, what's your Instagram? And almost, I think that's a lot of cases where it's like, I don't have Instagram. Why don't I make an account? And I think that's just why, because basically just because we kind of grew up with Instagram, even though we weren't that even though most of us weren't there when it was made.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Something that I notice, and it's kind of two different, how can I put it? Almost two different types of Instagrammers that I see of your age. One, there's the Instagrammer that always posts selfies.
Mm-hmm.
They always want to post what they're wearing, what they look like, where they're at,
Excuse me,
who they're with, and things like that. Then there are the others, and you kind of fall in this category because you don't post a lot of selfies. They're the creative type that want to share something they've created, whether it is a meme or it's Legos or a Lego scene or just something they made up or something that they did, as opposed to look at me, look what I'm wearing, look how I am today, look who I'm with. And I think, especially, I think with your friends, I think they fall more into the second category. I don't know if a lot of your friends post a lot of selfies.
Well, one of them does.
Well, and you got to have that. Always have to have that friend.
Yeah.
Everybody. Everyone. They're probably the fashionista of the group, and they have to show you what's fresh and all that.
Yeah.
Now, people my age are past being creative, or they're usually their creativity as their vocation. And I have a lot of friends that post on Instagram because that is their vocation, and that's how they advertise their products. One particular friend that comes to mind is Dave at Positive Made Leathercraft. Makes some outstanding leather work. So whether it's sheaths, holsters, belts, it's stuff is rugged, well built, and it looks nice too. So I just wanted to put in a plug for my friend Dave at Positive Made Leathercraft. And people my age really don't like to post selfies unless they're extraordinarily vain, I would say. I guess
Come on.
not all people that post selfies are vain, but I think there's a little bit of vanity in there. So I'll post a selfie if I want to show off my mangled face, or if I am making a silly face. But I'm not posting selfies to show you what outfit I'm wearing because you don't want to see my outfit. So there are people that do post selfies though, and I'm friends with some of them that they do look nice, and they can post their selfies. But I think sometimes it gets a little excessive in some cases. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I usually just scroll past.
Yeah, there's a huge stereotype on Instagram where it's people that post selfies of themselves and then like some quote from something that is like semi inspirational, but then it's not.
I don't get that.
There's a lot of people that do that. Also,
what gets me though is the bathroom selfie. I mean, really, why do you have to take your selfie in the bathroom?
Yeah, look at my bathroom.
Yeah, I stand in front of some nice scenery, and this is a good example of good selfies. Is my brother and his family took a epic trip out west to Yellowstone, and they went to all these national parks, and they're taking selfies. And I mean, those are the cool selfies for me.
Yeah.
I like to see people standing in front of Mount Rushmore and take a selfie. Perfect timing, or the perfect opportunity to take a selfie.
Yeah,
because those are cool. Or stand in front of some cool scenery.
Yeah, because it's like...
But it's the bathrooms. I guess it's the bathroom selfies that I have an issue with. I don't need to see your toothbrush and, your makeup and all that in the bathroom mirror. I don't need to see that. And I don't need to see that you haven't flushed the toilet yet. I don't need to see that the dog is chewing on the toilet paper roll. I don't, So I guess that's my pet peeve is bathroom selfies.
Yeah.
So,
I also I have two things to say before we get rid of that.
Okay.
Or go
Well, I
off
haven't
the
got to
subject.
share, and we're almost at our time limit for our little schedule. So I haven't got to share with all of my social media platforms. So
the thing I like about selfies, and where you're in front of scenery, that reminds me of when we took the selfie in front of the St. Louis Arch, because it kind of shows this was really cool because we were here and it was fun.
Yeah.
I think that's what selfies should be.
Yeah, a memory. A memory that, hey, I was here. And, you and I have taken a couple selfies while playing disc golf. It's just sharing an experience. And that's totally, to me, I like those selfies. But again, I don't want to see you in the bathroom in front of your mirror taking us. I mean, seriously. So what was the other thing? Did you have something else you needed to?
Yeah, the other thing, since you plugged someone's Instagram, I'm going to plug this person's Instagram. It's called Obi-Wan Having the High Ground. The type of account is called Religious Organization, which I think is funny. And what they do every day is post the scene in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith where Obi-Wan says, "It's over, Anakin, I have the high ground." They post it every single day.
So in order for one of our listeners to really get the full effect, they have to go watch. Which one is it? The
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
The third one.
So that's Star Wars Episode 3. At the end, there's a fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin, and there's that part of that scene. And it is pretty funny because Anakin tries anyway. But I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it.
And there's a lot more accounts like this, and it's really funny.
It is kind of funny when they post the same thing every day.
Yes.
See how long they can do it. So I've revealed one of my social media accounts that I use. Instagram I don't use so much. I do use it sometimes for business. I have a knife business. I make knives, Prairie Edge knives. Stay sharp, everyone. So I use that to post knives to share with people that like knives. I also like to look at knives. I like to look at guns. So most of my Instagram feed is outdoor and guns related. So knives, camping gear, people using camping gear, things like that. So I mainly follow manufacturers on Instagram. I also am a Facebook user, and I think it's just a cool place to hang out for us older people. And I understand, we've run off all the younger people, and hopefully we can bring, we can find a way to connect still. But it's useful to save pictures to, like a photo album. It's good. I mean, you can communicate with friends that live across the globe. You can use it to promote your business. You can use it to follow a business. You can use it to create a group where people can interact, such as our group. And it's just an opportunity for us to then connect with our listeners in an easy manner. I find it difficult to interact with someone through pictures. And I know there's a feature on Instagram where you can comment on pictures and you can go back and forth. You can also send direct messages. But I think it's just, Facebook's just an easier platform. I was trying to come up with an idea of connecting with, my generation connecting with your generation through some platform, because I think part of what's going on in our country right now is there is such a division between just different groups of people. And one of the biggest downfalls of any social media are the keyboard warriors who say things and share things that they would never ever do face to face with someone. They're rude and they make bad comments on things, and they would never say that to somebody's face. That's the biggest downfall of social media. But I think it can be a tool where my generation can connect with your generation without scaring you off. You don't like to get on Facebook much because none of your friends are there, and I can understand that. But I'm thinking that the more people my age get on Instagram and try to connect with kids your age, you're going to be like, nah, I'm out of here. I'm going to go somewhere else. And then you go to TikTok or some other.
I forget we kind of skipped over the whole TikTok.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about.
Yeah,
TikTok.
we probably don't.
No. That we can talk about TikTok. That's probably a subject on its own.
Yes, it is.
But I really wish there was a platform that is appealing to all ages and all backgrounds, where you can just, you can be yourself without, being afraid that someone's going to stalk you or, bully you or whatever. There needs to be something. We need to connect with people in some way, because no one goes out anymore. No one talks on the phone. When I was in high school, I mean, you'd sit and talk to people on the phone for hours.
Yeah.
And your dad would get mad at you because he was expecting a call from his work to get called out on a trip, and you had the phone tied up, and they didn't have call waiting back then. So people were trying to call and they get a busy signal. So, I just, I don't know what the answer is, but I do know that there's something missing. There's a connection that's missing, and I hope someone comes up with something someday that we can all just, interact.
We've accidentally talked about social media for almost the entire podcast.
I know. That was kind of the idea. Because, another thing that kind of goes along with social media is we have we have a Facebook group now. We have an Instagram account. You're the one that manages the Instagram account. So how do they find us on Instagram?
At Will and Walker Podcast, the @ symbol at the beginning.
Isn't it the Will and Walker Podcast, or is it just Will and Walker Podcast?
I'm gonna have to check.
Yeah, double check that. Again, our Facebook group is Will and Walker Podcast Listeners, and you can just go to Facebook and search for that.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I also forgot. I forgot to say what my YouTube and Twitch is. Okay. My YouTube is Lil Chair Stacker, and then on Twitch it's Lil_Chair_Stacker. And yes, the Instagram is at Will and Walker Podcast.
Okay. We also have a Patreon page, and Patreon is a little bit different, a little bit different type of social media. I consider it social because there is some interaction between the patrons and the organization. It's just an opportunity that if you feel that you can help out, it's awesome. You can go there, and it's patreon.com/Will and Walker Podcast. You can support the page financially, or the podcast financially. We have different tiers and different rewards for every tier. If you feel led to do that, we would greatly appreciate it. We're not looking to get rich. We just would like to cover the cost of the monthly fee so that we can save our podcast. Right now, we're doing the free account, and they get deleted after 90 days. So I have hard copies on the computer, but we will, at some point, our listeners won't be able to go back and listen to those early podcasts. So I encourage you, if you are willing to come alongside us and help support our support us financially, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/Will and Walker Podcast. Now, your assignment for next week. You're going to help us with our content for next week, and Walker's going to explain to you what we're going to have you do.
Oh, yes. What we're going to do next week is a Would You Rather. I kind of came up with this idea, and I'm excited for it. So on our Facebook and Instagram, we'll probably have a post where it's post your Would You Rathers and what you want us to say we would rather do. And we want to keep it PG and appropriate.
Yep, we want it. So, yeah. We're a family show. So
yes.
What are some examples of a Would You Rather? So we're just asking for them to give us two. They can submit as many as they want, but it's would you rather do this or would you rather do this? Mm-hmm. Not would you rather do this, or this. It's we'll do this or that. So like, would you rather see the Cubs beat the Cardinals, or would you rather see the Cubs beat the Brewers?
Yeah. Or would you rather eat a hamburger with a hot dog bun or a hot dog bun with a hamburger bun?
You mean a hot dog on a hamburger bun?
Yeah.
A hamburger on a hot dog bun or a hot dog on a hamburger bun.
Exactly.
We are looking for all sorts of ideas. So we're gonna pick some of the ones we like the most. They can be funny or they can be serious. We'd like to get a little bit of a mixture of both. We'll try to get in as many as we can, but if we get stuck on one, we might have to debate back and forth a little bit on some. But we're really looking forward to seeing what kind of questions we get out of it. Again, just go to our Facebook group page, Will and Walker Podcast listeners, or find us on Instagram at Will and Walker Podcast.
Yes.
Sorry, I should let you.
That's all right.
I think we covered everything, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So that'll do it for today's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us. This social media is a pretty deep rabbit hole, so we'll have to visit social media again
and TikTok
and kick it around some more. And TikTok
and SoundCloud,
SoundCloud and ClownCloud. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for joining us. We will see you again next week.
Goodbye.